sort of strange schedule, come back for one. How do you look at the challenge you faced tonight?
Well, I think we said coming into March how busy it was going to get. So just trying to get a lineup that's fresh and healthy and go.
You've seen guys coming in and out of the lineup. Is part of that managing, sort of just making sure managing
Yeah,
bodies?
100%. I don't think it's got much to do with performance or anything like that. I just think we've got some interchangeable guys that, where guys aren't ahead of anybody, so just for that night it fits and who your opponent is.
What, I guess, have you seen of Milan's game recently that would sort of have him on the sidelines tonight?
Out of who's?
Milan Lucic.
I think it's just what I said. It's fresh guys, it'd be hard to have Nick and Luch both in at the same time, right? So they can only play the one position, and you want to keep them both going, right?
What have you done well in 2 games against the Stars this year?
6-5, 5-4, 11-9. So I guess if you say goals 4, we did that well.
Daryl, Tyler Toffoli told us he came into this year with something to prove. Have you seen a different gear in him?
I don't know a different gear. Ty's a good pro, right? Play anywhere, play lots. So it's a guy you trust a lot of situations. So touch wood, he's stayed healthy this year. Even last year, he played hurt at the end and played hurt in the playoffs. So didn't really get everything he wanted.
How can a guy like Walker Dewar, who sort of was out of the lineup last game, looks like he might play tonight? What do you want to see from him?
It's one thing to know what a guy's skill set is. Another thing to do it at the NHL level when everybody else is digging into. So it's more than big and fast. You got to do it. Everything is big and fast.
What do you want to see from Peltier when he gets back in?
Just the same thing. It's nothing. Pelch's been really good for us. You know what? It's with him. He's played a lot of hockey. He didn't get the All-Star break. He went back to the Wranglers and he played going into the break, and he's played pretty significant minutes here. I think probably going back to even the Anaheim game here, I think he was starting to hit a little bit of a wall, and just where where he couldn't do everything he wanted to do, or what he's capable of doing. I think so. It's just doing a little reset. I mean, and you guys keep asking that question about these young guys. Well, you know what? They got to do their time. They got to play the game, right? They play in the American League. They get kind of dug in there and set. And what's the difference? You guys are asking the very same question that you asked last year about Dylan, that you probably asked 2 years ago about Mans, that you asked 3 years ago against Rass. They're the same questions. These guys just got to grow as players. They're good players. Just leave them alone. And that's part of my responsibility too to them young guys. Just leave them alone. Let them max it out when they get the opportunity.
Those other guys you mentioned then, Dylan and Andrew and Raz, how can they be the roadmap in terms of what did they do properly that has them at this point?
Well, last year when Dylan, or the year before, whenever it was, when Dylan would get set down for a game, it was like a major issue, right? Instead of what the team was doing, it was about how come Dylan's not playing well. They just got to grow. They're kids. You look at how far somebody like that's come, and in the same age. Right? If you do for example, if you did a player, I bet you like Dubé and Peltier or a defenseman, you look at where they're at, 22, 21, what do they do? What do they do at the American League? What do they do at the NHL? They get 20, 30 games. It just takes time.
And for Kadri, who's maybe not playing as much this season or the past couple of games as he is used to, what's your
exactly that. There's a pace, and hey, you got to have a. So it's not just those young guys. Those young guys are playing good. Those guys you're all talking about, they're playing good. They're just not in the lineup every game. So where does that go to? Veteran top guys. So those guys got to be better players.
Daryl, I know you try to play the same way regardless of where the game is being played, but have you seen a difference between how the team plays at home and on the road?
Yeah, there's not last game, no.
And now, what's Troy Stecher brought to your blue line?
I think he's brings some energy, and he's a good first pass guy. I think it's given some mobility to that pair. He's done a good job for us.
Does that help Zadorov as well then?
Yeah, he's a veteran that we're looking for another little bump to his game, right? So that's no different than asking about any of them veterans. I mean, if you look at our back end, he's is he 28 or 29? But he's what, next to Tanny in terms of experience, age.
Have you seen that bump from Uyghur in the last number of weeks?
He's been really good for us. I think since the break, he's been really good for us. He's a really good competitor, and he's really stepped his his identity, his profile up. I think he's done a really good job.
Daryl, you said you needed Jacob Markstrom to get hot a couple weeks ago. Are you seeing that out of him right now?
Yep. I mean, he's giving us a chance. Your goalie's got to make big saves, that's for sure, and he can't give up weak goals. And I think Marky's done that. He's given it. Put it this way: when you say goalie gets hot, he gives your team a chance to win, because there's got to be a balance. You can't have average goaltending and average performances by guys. You need to score. You need those A games, and you need to be able to sustain it and do it for a while. And Marky's grabbed on that really well.